Hello, hello, hello. MoTheGoddess here. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome in. Look around. Check out some of my other videos. See if there's something that resonates with you. And if so, make sure you like, comment, share. And if you're going to do all that, you may as well subscribe. But when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you are aware when I upload more amazing videos such as this. So you guys, I know, like the last few videos that I have recorded and uploaded onto YouTube, I have looked a hot mess. I know. So you don't have to tell me about it, okay? It's just that when I get the inspiration to make a video, it's like I'm in the middle of a thought. I'm in the middle of just hanging out. I'm in the middle of lounging. And I like to record right when I'm inspired to do so because I think that anybody can benefit from this particular story time that I wanted to do. I was just inspired to do this story time. So if you are following me on my other social media platforms, such as IG, such as Twitter, such as Blue Sky. If you're following me, if you're on my mailing list, then you know that yesterday I launched the big announcement that I am going to be doing my Tantric massage tour in North America again, in the States, right? So I wanted to share this story time because when it comes to me doing a tantric massage, there's a lot of touch, there's a lot of, caressing, there's a lot of intimacy. There is a lot of bodies touching bodies, right? So with that being said, you guys, I was just sitting here thinking about something because somebody hit me up and asked me, how long have you been doing massage? Are you licensed to do massage? And I immediately thought to myself that I think that there are a lot of people who are curious about certain things like that because they're wondering how I have the audacity. Like, how does she have the audacity to want to do some of the things that she does? And they don't necessarily have that same audacity. So you ask questions, not out of any ill feelings, but sometimes a lot of people ask questions. I remember when I launched my skincare line, I got a lot of questions about, did you go to formulation school? How did you learn to formulate? And everything that I create, you guys, I create literally from my spirit. If I am motivated to do it, then I just get up and I do it. I don't worry about if it's wrong. I don't worry about any of that. I just do it. And I believe that when you create from a place where you're inspired, you can't get it wrong. Because we all have something on the inside of us that we are able to do, that we're talented, that we're gifted with. But so many of us do not do it because we're afraid. What if I get it wrong? What if this? What if that? We all overthink ourselves out of, here we go again with this. Here we go with the frog in the throat. Here we go with the frog in the throat. Forgive me, you guys. I do have some tea here. But we overthink ourselves out of being our greatest selves, right? So when it comes to the tantric massage, no, I am not licensed. And for an erotic massage, a Nuru massage, you don't have to be licensed. And I didn't go to formulation school. I just know how I like my skin to feel. As far as skincare is concerned, I know the products that work great on my skin, and I just mixed them together, and voila, it was a masterpiece, okay? So I just want to encourage you before we even jump into this story time. If it's something that you feeling, just do it. Apologize later, child. Apologize later if it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But do something. My mama used to always say, do something, even if it's wrong. And, you know, as far as it goes, when I'm creating, I create from a place where I feel like, oh, that would be a good idea. Oh, I feel like doing this. Oh, I need this. Oh, you know, I feel like if I need it or if it makes me happy, then surely somebody else will need it and it'll make them happy as well. Surely, right? So that's where my inspiration, you know, that's where it all starts for me, in the spirit. But I wanted to talk about this particular thing because as I was thinking about all that, I thought about this whole tantric massage idea that came to me in 2023. If you guys don't know, I have been living here in Bali, Indonesia for 5 years. I have been back to the States, however, 3 times. This time that I am going back to the States will be my 4th time. But in 2023, I had got this notion that I wanted to do a massage tour, for one, because I have been here in this country so long, single woman, not intimate, not touching, not, you know, not feeling, not exchanging energy with another human being in an intimate space. And I was like, I need that in my life. I was inspired. I was like, I need to touch somebody. I need to feel somebody. I need to feel sexy again. I need to feel sensual again. And it came to me, I was like, I'm going back to the States. Let me introduce this erotic massage tour, because surely if I need it, somebody else is going to need it, right? Again, it came to me in the spirit. And the ironic thing is, when I grew up, although my mother loved us, I didn't have a loving mother. So I didn't get hugs and I didn't get kisses and we grew up without having that sort of, you know, maternal nurturing from our mom. My mama was real hard. My mama was like, you better get it how you live. My mama was, she was like, you better thug it out, you know? And for me, that has been a gift in most instances, especially being a single woman. And it has also been somewhat of a curse, because when I'm in relationships, that lack of nurturing shows up. So let me explain. So I remember as a little girl, I was a very needy little girl. I'm a needy big girl. I'm a needy big girl, believe it or not. Like, when in relationships, I need a lot of attention, and that's just who I am. I'm not gonna say I need it, but I feel better when I get the attention. I feel better when I want it, though. I am a Libra, and I do value my alone time. I do need to recharge. I do not need you in my face 24/7. But when I want you in my face, I want that attention. When I'm talking to you, I want you to be focused on me. I want it to be about me. I know who I am. I know my truth, and I'm going to speak it, okay? But I was a very needy little girl. Like, I needed a lot of attention. And being the only girl and having a younger brother, looking around at some of my cousins, my friends, and, you know, different people, how the little girls interacted with their mothers, I always desired that. But my mother was not that type of individual. I remember when I was a young girl, I would try to hug my mom. And although she didn't push me away or turn away, I still remember how tense and uncomfortable she would be. Like, I could feel that. I am a very spiritual person and I read energy quite well. I read energy real well. And I've always been that way. And I remember like it was yesterday hugging my mom, like seeking that attention, seeking that, love, hugging her, and how she wouldn't hug back, but she would be so tense and cold and like you could just feel it. And the crazy thing about it is I just, because I didn't want to feel that tenseness and I didn't want her to be uncomfortable, I just stopped trying. So as an adult, that translated into my adult relationships. So I used to hear often from men how they thought that I was hard or that I had a lot of masculine energy. I heard men tell me all the time, Mo, we know you strong. You ain't got to prove it to us. One man told me in particular, he was being as sweet as he could to me. And I was just like, I'm not going to get my heart broken. I am not going to be vulnerable. I am not, I had this wall up most of my life, and for a lot of the right reasons as well. But I had this wall up and men would feel that from me. But there was one particular time when I came to Bali, I went on this healing journey that I did not set out to be on. I didn't even know it explained, it became clearer to me why I ended up in Bali without, even planning on being here, knowing anything about Bali, how I followed my spirit here, like how Bali basically called me to her. I needed to heal some things. So I remember the first year that I was here, I had met this sister. She was the first black girl that I had seen, the first black person that I met in Indonesia when I arrived, like 2 weeks after I arrived. I met her in the grocery store and she was so friendly, and her and I, we became social. And I remember I was meeting her for coffee and I was already seated when she showed up to the coffee shop, and she walked up from behind and she put her arms around me to hug me, like to greet me, hello, right? And although she caught me off guard, but when she hugged me, she jumped. And I turned around and she was like, oh my God, you don't like to be hugged. And I was like, what makes you say that? She was like, your body locked up. And the way she described that, and there was, I didn't even try. I wasn't even trying to do that. But the way she described it, it reminded me of how my mother's body used to lock up every time I tried to hug her. Every time, little girl wanting to hug her mother, how locked she would be. And when she told me, she was like, yeah, you don't like to be hugged, do you? And then she went on this whole discovery questionnaire for me. Like, she was asking me so many questions related to touch and hug and, things about my childhood. And I'm like, damn, girl. But she took me on this, she took me back. And she helped me to understand, even in that quick little conversation, that quick little interaction, that I was dealing with some of the same stuff. And I don't know my mama's story. She never shared it with me. I never even brought it up to her. I never said, Mama, why you don't like to hug? I never said, Mama, why your body lock up? I just took it as it was. And I took it as it was that she was not a very nurturing mother. I don't remember one time where my mother walked up and hugged and kissed me as a child. I don't remember that. So I always tried to be very touchy, lovey, huggy with my sons. But after a while, there's only even so much of that they're willing to do. Because I raised two sons, two boys. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, they don't want their mama touching and kissing and hugging and all that, you know? So yeah, you know, most of my adulthood, it was just like that. And I didn't even realize it until she brought it to my attention. This lady brought it to my attention that I didn't like to be hugged. And although it wasn't intentional, it helped me to understand that there were places and spaces in my life that I needed to go back and address so that I could come out of that, so that I could be comfortable touching and I could be comfortable being touched. Because I don't know about you. I don't know if any of you ever experienced any kind of childhood SA. I'm going to say SA because I guess that's what the terms we use now, the politically correct terms that we have to say on social media. We can't say the words that they are, right? I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I think a lot of the not wanting to be touched and not feeling comfortable touching is because of a lot of the stuff that happened to me as a child as well. So you have my mother not being the nurturing, lovey, huggy mama, you know, and then you have all that other stuff that stemmed from childhood. So imagine just suppressing all that as an adult and carrying all that with you and not addressing it ever, you know? So when she brought it to my attention, I had to come to terms like this is something that I need to address and I wanted to address. So as I was thinking earlier about, you know, someone asking me, are you licensed? You know, how do you know how to do that? I also thought about how it came from my spirit because I needed it. When I did the first tour in 2023, I needed to be touched again. I needed another human being. I needed that energy. I needed my body massage. I needed to touch. You know what I'm saying? It was part of my healing process. And people don't even understand that. So a lot of everything that I offer, a lot of everything, how about everything that I offer, it comes from me needing it first. Everything that I offer in my coaching programs, it comes from me healing, correcting, overcoming it first before I can teach it. And that's where everything stems from. So it takes me back again. I'm going to say this again. When you do things from the spirit, very seldom, very rarely are they going to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to trust yourself. You really have to trust, you know, what's going on the inside of you. And it's very important that you know who you are, that you can speak your truth. You know your traumas. You know you know who you are. And that's why I'm not ever afraid to share, like, my characteristics. I have a lot of flaws. We all do. We all do. And most of my character flaws, most of my character flaws stem from something that took place in the past, or something that I suppressed, or something that I didn't even realize that I was doing. And then when you realize it, or somebody brings it to your attention, and you're open and you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow, you're willing to evolve from that, you have to really take that thing head on and go, okay, well, you don't have to, because we ain't got to do nothing. We ain't got to do nothing. unfortunately, a lot of people get to their 70s, 80s, their deathbed, and they never heal anything. They never address anything. They never are accountable for anything. Hence, my mama. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And, going back to my mom, I've shared on here as well. 3 years ago, I think it's been 3 years now, that I went completely no contact with her, and it was for my healing. It was for my peace. And I went completely no contact because every time I talked to her, especially when I came here to Bali and I started, like, all these things started coming up, all these things that I had suppressed, all these things, like, it has been said that Mama Bali chooses her people. So there are a lot of people in Bali, Indonesia, who are broken spirits. I don't think nobody is broken, but it's a lot of people here healing a lot of shit. Okay? A lot of shit. And a lot of us have the same story. So it's been said that Mama Bali chooses her people. And when I got here, I went on this 3-year healing journey. And it hasn't really stopped because I'm sitting here making this story time video with you guys. It hasn't really stopped, but now I'm hyper aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hyper aware, I'm hypersensitive, I'm hyper intuitive. I'm hyper tuned in to who I am and my emotions and how I feel and where they come from and why am I feeling like this today, and learning to honor the shadow side of me as well as the lighter, brighter, high vibe side of me. We all have both. There is duality to each and every one of us. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because it was something that just came to me. I was like, it's crazy how I was seeking to be touched, that I just created this erotic, tantric massage because I wanted somebody to touch me. I needed it, and I had so much fun. The first year that I did that, I was really nervous because I also am a person who is challenged with social anxiety. I am challenged with social anxiety, honey. A lot of people think now I'm very much so an introvert. Okay, like I said, I love being by myself, and most of the time I'm always by myself. But when I'm in social circles with people who are like-minded, people who are also high vibe, then I do well. I can give you a little bit of time. I'll do well for a little bit of time. But when I go out of those circles, sometimes I sit for a long time like, did I say that? Should I have said that? Did I give too much information? Like second guessing conversations rather than just letting the shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe, it's crazy. And even in some social circles, it's hard for me to just relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be, it's hard for me to do that. So, I was really nervous. But I had already set my intention, so I knew it was going to be good. Every one of those clients that showed up at that door, and I only knew one really well. Well, I didn't know him really well. We had been social media friends for a long time. We interacted on social media. The rest of them, I didn't know. But I had already set the intention that I was going to be safe. And of course, I vetted them. And of course, I had security. And each and every one of them, I had a fabulous time. We had a fabulous time. You know, they sent me men. Now I done coached some women in some regular programs. I ain't even put my hands on them. In some regular programs, it's like pulling teeth to get a woman to give you a testimonial. I don't know what that is, why that is, but it is like pulling teeth. But these guys, when I reached back out to them and I said, hey, you guys, after your massage, I hope you had an amazing time. I sent them an email, you know, thanking them. And I said, I would love it for you to give me a testimony. And they all wrote like these amazing testimonies that were so eloquent and so robust. I was like, now this is what I'm talking about. So I had a good time. I had a great time, but setting the intention that I was going to have a great time, every single one of them, you guys, every single last one of them were Leo men. And if there's one thing I know about Leo men that turn me on, they some bosses. They are some bosses. They are masculine. Well, at least the ones that I've come across. They are some masculine men. And I love that in a man. I love that masculinity, but also a man who is in touch with their feminine side as well. So each and every one of them in that first tour was awesome. I had a great time. I was like, I got to keep this up. I got to keep it up. But of course, I came back to Indonesia, and last year when I went back to the US, I just wasn't even feeling nothing. I was not feeling good. I was not feeling myself. I wasn't with it. I wasn't with nothing. But this time, you guys, the lead time, I don't remember what the lead time was for the first tour, but the lead time is 3 months. Again, I've set the intentions. Again, it is coming from a place where everything, like I am in the rebirthing phase of me. You know what I'm saying? So I am coming back to the States. I'm coming back to you, but most importantly, I am coming back to me. You know? And with that, I set the intentions as this one right here is going to be even better. And the first day that I sent the email, the invitation, the first day, I already got somebody who paid in full. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my first, like the first email that went out. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yeah, this is how I know that this is supposed to happen the way it's happening. This evolution of me, this becoming, this rebirth. It's time. It is time. And I'm ready for it. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys and just be a little bit open and let you know like where all this stemmed from and where everything that I do stems from. It's not like I don't never put anything out there that's just fly by night. I'm very self-reflective. I do a whole self-analysis. I go through a whole series of, healing in a lot of instances. Things become serendipitous. Like I told you guys the other day in the other video, how, it came to me, how somebody was telling me, I don't even remember how it went, but it was about my nakedness online. And how I thought about that. And I was like, you know what? It takes courage to be naked, and not just in the flesh, but in the spirit. It takes courage to be naked and be vulnerable and share and to be transparent. It takes courage to be your damn self. So it came to me, I was like, that's going to be my next book that I write. The power, because I'm on this word power, the power to be naked. And then the next thing that came to me was like, yeah, we're going to go with that naked theme, because you already got like when you start doing your promotional material and you start doing your campaign launch, you also are going to couple that with your naked body butter, because I have a body butter called Naked. So I'm like, okay, everything is like, all right, all right. Everything just comes together. You know what I'm saying? When it's supposed to and how it's supposed to, when you move with intention and you move from the spirit. You let the spirit guide you, baby. So, yeah, that's all I got, y'all. That's all I wanted to share. And I don't know if it resonates with you. If anything resonates with you, then let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. And if you are a qualified candidate for the Rebirth, the Sensual Rebirth tour of my erotic, why did the word just disappear? My sacred, my sacred erotic massage. It'll all come together. I just released it yesterday. If you are a qualified candidate, I encourage you to apply. Everybody has to apply. It's not just a massage. It is not a massage, honey. It is an awakening. It is a portal. It is, it's everything. It is everything. It's for those of you who want more. Those of you who want more pleasure. Those of you who want more power. Those of you who want more presence. That's what I needed. I needed presence. I need the presence of a man, you know, a human being. I needed that energetic power to come through me and to exchange, us to exchange that energy. That means a lot when you exchanging energy. Like one person ain't just receiving, just sitting back, just receiving. Nah, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that, baby. This is a massage that you didn't know you needed. So anyway, before I keep going, because I can't keep going. And it's coming from a place because of what I need. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I need. This is an exchange. Oh, and I have to say this as well. If you are not able or willing to invest at that level, you guys, if you've ever wanted to see me in person, I know I ain't nobody. Ain't nobody, baby. But if you ever wanted to see me in person, if you ever wanted to exchange energy with me, if you ever wanted to sit at the foot of my wisdom, I encourage you to come to the meetup. If you cannot make the massage, if you do not qualify for the massage, the meetup is also going to be in Atlanta on the 19th, Saturday, from 6 to 8. There are goodie bags. There is a VIP option where you get a lot of my goddess gear. You also get my signature drink. I already got this stuff planned out, baby. You get my signature drink, and it comes with a 15-minute coaching session with me, if you choose the VIP option. If not, it's still amazing. You're still going to have a good time. I'm still going to exchange that energy with you. I'm going to make sure that you're seen. I'm going to make sure that you are heard. It is interactive. You'll have a fabulous time. And if you plan on joining me, I'm going to leave all the information in the description box for you. But in the meantime, and in between time, until the next time, you be fit, be fierce, be fabulous. Healthy is the new sexy. Bye, y'all.